Well, hello there folks. Today we're going to be taking a look at Fishing North Atlantic. This is probably not a game you ever expected on this channel, but man, let me tell you, I have become so addicted to this that I might just toss my PC in the nearest bay and jump on a crab boat. Well, in any case, let's take a look and kind of what to expect from this game. What do you start off with? How do you get into it? And what do you do? Well, let's see. Now, when you make it onto the fine Atlantic Ocean, probably the first thing you're going to be doing is some deep sea fishing. And for that, you're going to have to set deep lines and hopefully pick up some tuna fish or marlins or something delicious to the palate, as it were. But here's the idea, folks, is to try and get out here, and as you can see, we set a deep line that's going to bring us in quite a lot of tuna. At that point, what you want to do is try and hook the fish in, almost said something else, and try and make as much money as possible pretty much through that method. Now again, the idea of the game, at least initially, is to over time make enough money to purchase an upgrade to your ship or to simply purchase a new boat and focus on other kinds of fishing entirely. Now, as a first-time fisherman, you're probably going to be dealing with marlin and tuna, and you can go straight for the deep-sea inline fishing here, but as you can see, I'm actually losing some fish because my hold is almost completely full. So I've pretty much set some buoys here to catch tuna fish and marlins, and this is more than likely what you're going to be doing initially. You can also get out there and do some harpoon fishing for marlins, but honestly, this is going to make you a lot more money. Now, what do you do when you've got a wonderful catch, you may ask? Well, you want to try to make it back to port as quickly as possible. Now, you can discover a number of different ports along the landmass here, but we're going straight back to Yarmouth and dropping off our catch, trying to make some cash with it. Ultimately, we want to buy ships capable of fishing even more expensive fish, and even though, for instance, cod might not be more expensive than tuna, they come in a larger quantity on a larger boat, and thus you make a little bit more money. Tuna and swordfish are pretty much, you can only get 2 or 3 at a time at most, but if you're going out for cod, mackerel, all these other fish, you can get thousands of these fish. So we're going to head back to Yarmouth, sell our catch, and hopefully get enough for a nice fancy new boat. If not, we're going to head back out here, drop some more lines, and maybe I'll make a separate video on where the best place is to drop lines. That would definitely be a tutorial, but I've been doing pretty damn good, as you can see, with my tuna lines so far. So once we're actually here in Yarmouth, we want to go ahead and sell our catch, and look at that beautiful income, $202,000. You can switch this to euros, pounds, whatever you prefer. The thing is, though, since we have a crew member, and he is a greenhorn, we do have to pay him 1% of our catch, and that's more than worth it. So there we go, we are going to sell our fish, $528,000. The most important thing to do right now, before we forget, is to go ahead and bait our existing deep lines. Now, we can bait it with herring, we can bait it with squid, and as you progress through the game, you're going to get more interesting baits for different kinds of fish. But right here, we're going straight for herring deep lines, and we want to get out to our older deep lines as quickly as possible, because other predators will actually get to those fish if we leave them out there too long. Now, in town, you can actually take out a loan in case you need some money to buy those deep lines to begin with, and you probably will if you're just starting the game, and you also go here to hire crew. But you can see that the kinds of crew you can get here, depending on their quality, they're going to cost more to bring on, and they're also going to, cost a higher rate of your overall pay. Well, that's enough talk. You could also stop by the bar, get a few drinks, and maybe some information on your next particular fishing location, or maybe just a mission, like a transport mission from one dock to the next. In any case, my whole thing is get back out on the ocean as quickly as possible, but for God's sakes, man, don't forget your fuel. That stuff's really important. You don't want to be stuck in the middle of the Atlantic. Trust me. Now, of course, upgrades are another part of the game, and I'm definitely going to be upgrading my actual quota. Sorry, not my quota. My storage. Let's go to storage 3. We can afford it, and we've got more than enough actual fishing pots to be able to take that much fish. That's 3,000 kilos more, pretty much doubles our actual current space, and we want to head back out quickly. I'm just taking a look here. I could, of course, get some different ship upgrades, such as autopilot radar. We've already got this, but I could increase the fish sonar, make it a little bit stronger, and I think I'm actually going to move up to fish sonar 3. I really almost did turn into a Scotsman. I was about to say fish sonar tree, but I caught myself. Let's go ahead and add that to the basket and get back out on the beautiful Atlantic. Sonar is definitely your best friend in this game, and it's going to let you know what fish species are underneath you. Of course, you can actually increase that sonar and see just how plentiful certain areas are. Now, this area that I'm showing you is a little better than most. If you go into an area that's really not a good place to fish, you're not going to be seeing many signatures at all. I've got a ton of different fish here, but the ones I'm looking for are those tuna, and typically I should be dropping the pots right in front of the tuna, but from what I've noticed in my experience, they'll get to those pots eventually. You can actually see 2 to 3 big ones here, so I'm going to go ahead and haul this deep line, pretty much try and drop pots here as soon as possible. Unfortunately, as you can see looking by my boat, I've already dropped everything. In fact, this is our entire string just for this season, and these pots aren't even ready to be picked up yet. But the idea being, we want to try and grab as much fish as possible, and of course, eventually take it back to the dock. So let's go ahead and see if we've got anything here in this deep line. No fish were caught, and this could simply be because I didn't wait long enough. When I showed you guys the first part of the video, I waited 19 hours. Here I only waited 10. So we're just going to have a nice relaxing soak here, me and my crewmate, maybe drink a few beers and do some fishing of our own, and hopefully we'll grab something in the next catch. But that's pretty much the idea, and we know for sure we dumped something in an area that does have tuna. Another issue now is that we can't drop this pot because we need to bait it with herring, and that's something that can only be done back at dock, unfortunately. Well, we're all full up for tonight. Almost 5,400 kilos here of marlin and tuna fish. And we are going to head right back to Yarmouth. Again, always remember that you need to keep enough fuel, or you're going to be towed by the Coast Guard. That's going to cost thousands, potentially even, completely throw you off your career. So let's get back there and see how much profit we're making. I hope it's nice. Let's sell our catch. 2,800 for our greenhorn, and 278,000 for us. Oh, it's a good day. It's a really good day. Now, once you get to trawling, things get a lot more complicated, and what you need to do is get the perfect trawl on the actual sea floor here to be able to, of course, catch as many fish as possible. A lot more responsibility, a lot more crew, and in general, this is going to cost a whole lot more. As you can see here, we do have 2 handles in front of us, these to basically control each side of this massive net, the trawl, and we can use that to wire the depth of the trawl doors. So once DP and DP2 sensors are past 100 meters, we set both handles in fixed position by pressing R. So we're just waiting for that 100-meter mark. That means our net will be reaching pretty much the bottom of the sea floor, and hopefully we'll catch all of the fish we need. Now, even here, we're not at crab fishing. That's even more complicated. We are doing just basic trawling. This ship, however, costs about $2,500,000. It's not a cheap one, so keep in mind actually, it's $3,500,000. You're going to need that cash. So right now, we will close the trawl doors and bring in that delicious catch. There we go. Wait, no. There we go. And there we go. Alright, try to keep your trawl bag straight and raised and lower the wire to aim for the closest school of fish. So we can see that on the sonar right there. We want to keep them in the trawl doors. So as you can see, 80%. We want to try to just keep 80%, but just look at that. We can actually see the fish right there. Absolutely beautiful. If we want, we can also go ahead and just take a look at the screen itself and sort of mess with the trawl bag there. So I'm going to go ahead and reel out the port wire. Same over here, reel out the starboard wire. We should be grabbing a nice portion of fish here as we get along the seafloor. Could also lower it a little bit, but as you can see, we're already grabbing some fish. There's that big sonar right there. And they said once it gets to 80%, you want to try and cut it off. If it goes beyond that, you can snap your bag. In this case, we only need 40%, so it's not all that bad. I'm just ready to, of course, reel in the port warp wire when necessary to, of course, seal that large net. That's where we are right now. You see right there, right over that school of fish. So we should be filling up on a bunch. There's also a much bigger, but, well, denser school, I should say, right there. And there you go. All right, guys, this is the cool part. We actually get to assign our crew members. So first, let's reel in the port. Sorry. Yeah, there we go. Nope. Reel it in. There we go. Reel in the starboard wire. And now we want to call our crew. That's right, call our crew. And we want to haul trawl. So we're on set trawl right now. So let's see, to haul trawl. I'm not seeing the haul trawl. There we go. And when the trawl doors are fully reeled in, press the trawl haul button in front of you to haul the trawl bag on board. Alright, guys. Alright, so we do need to reel that up. Now, as you can see, just hauling in these actual bags, we've almost pulled in about 60% of the catch, so not just the 40% we grabbed initially. But that left side of the trawl back is reeling in a lot faster than the right side. That's not always a cause for panic, but let's say this was at 90 meters and this was still rising, then we could have snagged our trawl bag on something. And once that occurs, you've got a serious problem. Could actually even sink your ship, bring the ship down with it. You usually have to cut that bag off. So let's see if we can go ahead, haul in that trawl, and we just have to wait for our crew members to finish hauling it in. Look at that. We can actually watch them. That's a huge bag of fish, and we can actually even see a bunch of seagulls around trying to get some for themselves. Alright, guys, there we go. We've gotten through the trawling section, and I just want to show you this beautiful fish. We just got 22,000 kilos of the fish, and look at how many different crew members we've got on board. Currently 4. This is actually the smallest of the trawling ships, but I think that's more than enough to take, although we could set another trawl, because we only have 22,000 of 40,000, and try to bring in even more cash. Being said, I'm really curious to see how much we're going to make off this alone. So I am going to jump back to the port of Yarmouth. My goodness, things are so much farther when you're trawling. You really have to go out into the deep ocean. But let's see how much cash we actually make here. And keep in mind, this is not even the final ship. This is sort of like medium grade, maybe even kind of low grade. We're trying to get into crab fishing. And one of the ways you unlock ships is not simply by looking at the dock area, although you can certainly do that. The best way to unlock ships is to actually find them on the map, and they will appear in your shipyard section. As you can see here, I actually own a Miki and a Dexter, but there are a bunch of other ships available. One of them is the Borge. Just saw it out on the ocean, and it's pretty much an old rusty boat with sluggish controls. I really do want to purchase it at some point, though. Let's take a look here. We've got unprocessed fish, so we need to freeze and stack the fish before they can be sold. I have no doubt that's going to be an entirely different job for our crew, so we better go ahead and start doing that. Let's get just off the side of the port here, and hopefully we can get right on that job. folks. Well, let's let them go ahead and do their jobs. We're going to kind of hang out here and hope that they start processing some fish big time. You can actually see them working on board. I just love all of these touches in game. It's quite, look at that. We've got quite a few kilos popping up here. This is all of the stuff they're currently processing. We're just going to stop the ship. Enjoy the view here of Yarmouth and process as much as we can. Still have a lot of kilos to go here, as you can see, but it will be done in due time. Well, I think we've had enough time to process here, only a few hours really, but I'm just curious to see what we can get even off what has already been processed. You can see on that right side, there is still so much left, not in the trawl box, but next to our first deckhand, there's still quite a lot of this catch to process. So let's take a look just at what we have here. So we're only making 4,000 out of this tiny percentage, but it's only 165 of our entire catch. So we could be coming out on the hundreds of thousands here, but we do need to take that time to process that stuff aboard. Well, that takes a look at, of course, the game for you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. As you can see, a lot left to do, and there's just so much to this game depending on what you want to do. You can be anything from a trawler to a craft fisherman to even just a good old sport fisherman looking for marlin and tuna. You can make money in all those different ways, but keep in mind with these larger operations, these operations that clearly require a lot more responsibility, you're going to be making a whole lot more money. If you guys enjoyed this particular video and you want to see more of this game, let me know by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Definitely not something I would usually put on the channel, but man, I've been having fun here.